Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudire nashtupraye shravadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttam shloke bhaktir bhavati naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, today we're starting new chapter, chapter 3, the external reasons for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 1 onwards. Sri Chaitanya Prabhu Vande Yad Padashraya Viryata Sangrayati Akar Vrata Agya Siddhanta Sanmani. I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By the potency of the shelter of his lotus feet, even a fool can collect the valuable jewels of conclusive truth from the minds of the revealed scriptures. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is basically humbling himself, calling himself a fool, and only by the potency of the shelter of Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, he says he can. He's saying all this, whatever he's writing, and even a fool can collect the jewels. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Tritiya Shlokera Artha Kaila Vivaran, Chaturtha Shlokera Artha Shunu Bhaktagan. I have given the purport of third verse. Now, O devotees, please listen to the meaning of the fourth with full attention. So, fourth verse from first chapter. So, the external reasons, they are the external and internal reasons for the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, let's see what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says. Anarpita charim chirat karune avatirana kalo samarpaitum unnatojjala rasam subhakti shriyam Hari Purata Sundara Diti Kadamba Sandipita Sada Hridaya Kandare Suratu Vakshachimantan. May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Shachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost core of your heart. In the innermost core. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has descended in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most elevated mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. So nobody offered this before, not even Krishna, with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's offering. The mellow of conjugal love. So this is a quotation from Vidagdha Madhav, a drama compiled and edited by Srila Rupa Goswami. Purna Bhagwan Krishna Vrajendra Kumar Goloke Vrajera Saha Nitya Vihar. Lord Krishna, the son of the king of Raja, is the supreme Lord. He eternally enjoys transcendental pastimes in his eternal abode, Goloka, which includes Vrajadham. In the previous chapter, it has been established that Krishna, the son of Rajendra, the king of Raja, is the supreme personality of Godhead with 6 opulences. He eternally enjoys transcendently variegated opulences on his planet, which is known as Goloka. The eternal pastimes of the Lord in the spiritual planet, Krishna Loka, are called aprakat, or unmanifested pastimes, because they are beyond the purview of the conditioned souls. Lord Krishna is always present everywhere, but when he is not present before our eyes, he is said to be aprakat, or unmanifest. So his leelas are always going on. And especially the leelas in Golok Vrindavan, spiritual world, they are aprakat for us. Brahmar ek din teno ek bar avatirna haya karin prakata vihar. Once in a day of Brahma, he descends to this world to manifest his transcendental pastimes. सत्य त्रेता द्वापर कली चारि युग जान सही चारि युग दिव्य एक युग मान. We know that there are 4 ages or yugas, namely Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali. These 4 together constitute one Divya Yuga. Ekatar Chatur Yuge Eka Manvantara, Choda Manvantara Brahmara Divasa Bhitar. 71 Divya Yugas constitute one Manvantar. There are 14 Manvantars in one day of Brahma. A Manvantar is a period controlled by one Manu. The reign of 14 Manus equals the length of one day, 12 hours in the life of Brahma. And the night of Brahma is of the same duration. These calculations are given in the authentic astronomy book known as Surya Siddhanta. An annotated Bengali translation of this book was compiled by the great professor of astronomy and mathematics, Bimal Prasad Datta, later known as Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami, who was our merciful spiritual master. So he gave the Bengali translation of Surya Siddhanta. He was honored with the title Siddhanta Saraswati for translating the Surya Siddhanta, and the title Goswami Maharaj was added when he accepted sannyas, the renounced order of life. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami or Maharaj, he was a great astronomer also. So he had translated the Surya Siddhanta. In fact, I'm forgetting the name of the planet that he talked about, and his name is still there in the record books. I'll try to find out more detail later. Vevasvata Name Saptam Manvantara Shatesha Chatura Yuga Tahara Antara. The present Manu, who is the 7th, is called Vevasvat, who is the son of Vivaswan. 27 Divya Yugas of his age have now passed. So 27 times 4.32 million years. The names of the 14 Manus are as follows. Shambhuva is the first Manu, then Swarochisha, Uttam, Tamas, Ravat, Chakshusha, Vevasvat, Savarani, Daksha Savarani, Brahma Savarani, Dharma Savarani, Rudraputra or Rudra Savarani, Rochya or Dev Savarani, and Bhautyaka or Indra Savarani. Ashtavinsha Chaturyuge Dvaparera Sheshi Rajera Sahita Hai Krishnera Prakashe. At the end of the Dwapar Yuga of the 28th Divya Yuga, Lord Krishna appears on earth with the full paraphernalia of his eternal Vrajathan. So Krishna appears 7th Manus, 28th Dwapar Yuga, towards the end of 28th. Now is the term of Vevasvat Manu, during which Lord Chaitanya appears. First, Lord Krishna appears at the close of the Dwapar Yuga of the 28th Divya Yuga, and then Lord Chaitanya appears in the Kali Yuga of the same Divya Yuga. Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya appear once in each day of Brahma, or once in 14 Manvantars, each of 71 Divya Yugas in duration. So from the beginning of Brahma's day of 43.2 billion years, 6 Manus appear and disappear before Lord Krishna appears. Thus, how to calculate this? 1.975 billion years of the day of Brahma elapsed before the appearance of Lord Krishna. This is an astronomical calculation according to solar years. So this is just one day of Brahma. How many days or how many years of Brahma have elapsed? Some say it's the 53rd year of Brahmaji. Brahmaji lives for 100 years and it's the 53rd year. And Even if you just go with this number, 1.975 billion years, or it is trillion, something, whatever. Even if we go with this number, because whenever there is night of Brahmaji, the dissolution takes place, up to the Satyaloka, everything is gone, and when he comes back in the morning, or up to the Swargaloka, and when he comes back, he has to do the creation. So even if we go with this calculation, not before, not 53 years or 52 years of Brahmaji, the human life has always been there. We're talking about Swambhuva Manu. Swambhuva Manu, his daughter Devhuti married Kardamuni, and all those stories we have read. So it's not what these historians say, or scientists say, oh, human life as we know of exists only for the last 10,000 years. This is nonsense. What Bhagavatam speaks, what Vedic scriptures speak, that is the truth. But nobody wants to believe it. In fact, there is a book by ISKCON devotees. There were scientists, two of them, Sadaputa Prabhu and another one. And they had written a book, Forbidden Archaeology. Means there have been evidence of the human life for a long, billions of years on Earth. But it's forbidden. Scientists, they don't want people to read that, or to know that there has been some kind of evidences. Because then the Darwin's theory is just totally out of the window. They can throw it out of the window. But there have been evidences. There have been, in excavation, they have found things which are billions of years. Dasya Sakhya Vatsalya Shringara Chari Ras Chari Bhavera Bhakta Yata Krishna Taravasha. Servitude, Dasya, friendship, Sakhya, parental affection, Vatsalya, and conjugal love, Shringar, are the four transcendental mellows, rasas. By the devotees who cherish these four mellows, Lord Krishna is subdued. Sorry, Krishna Taravasha. Krishna comes in the control of such devotees. Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Shringar, or Madhurya, are the transcendental modes of loving service to the Lord. Shantaras, or the neutral stage, is not mentioned in this verse because although in Shantaras one considers the absolute truth, the sublime great, one does not go beyond that conception. Shantaras is a very grand idea for materialistic philosophers, but such idealistic appreciation is only the beginning. It's the lowest among the relationships in the spiritual world. Shantaras is not given much importance because as soon as there is a slight understanding between the knower and the known, active, loving, transcendental reciprocations and exchanges begin. So Dasya is a basic relationship between Krishna and his devotees. Therefore, this verse considers Dasya the first stage of transcendental devotional service. So yes, the five rasas are there, but Mahaprabhu himself, he didn't give much importance to Shantaras. And Prabhupada has also said, as soon as there is some understanding. So Shantaras is like between Krishna and his flute, Krishna and the animals, Vrindavan, peacocks, monkeys, or Krishna and Yamuna. Of course, Yamuna is also expansion of Kalindi, so we don't want to say there's rasa. Or Krishna and there's so many cows. That's the Shantaras. So there is no loving reciprocations. So that's why Mahaprabhu has just kept it out. He said, no, Dasaras is from where we start. Dasa Sakha Pita Mata Kanta Garna Laya Praja Krida Kare Krishna Prema Vishtahaya. Absorbed in such transcendental love, Lord Shri Krishna enjoys in Braja with his devoted servants, friends, parents, and conjugal lovers. The descent of Shri Krishna, the absolute personality of God, is very purposeful. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that one who knows the truth about Shri Krishna's descent and his various activities is at once liberated and does not have to fall again to this existence of birth and death after he leaves his present material body. In other words, one who factually understands Krishna makes his life perfect. Imperfect life is realized in material existence. In 5 different relationships we share with everyone within the material, but that is imperfect. Neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental love, and amorous love between husband and wife or lover and beloved. These 5 enjoyable relationships within the material world are perverted reflections of relationships with the absolute personality of Godhead in the transcendental nature. That absolute personality, Shri Krishna, descends to revive the 5 eternally existing relationships. Thus he manifests his transcendental pastimes in Braja, so that people may be attracted into that sphere of activities and leave aside the imitation relationships with the mundane. Then after fully exhibiting all such activities, the Lord disappears. So he wants us to have that relationship with him in any of the 5, not even 5, 4 only. Mahaprabhu says only 4, so we go with only 4. But we are stuck here in the material world thinking that we will get pleasure in any of these relationships in the material. It doesn't happen. Sooner or later, in any given relationship, it will end. Sooner or later, it will end. Whether due to fight, or whether due to some misunderstanding, or whether due to death. It can happen. And it ends. But the relationship of the soul with Krishna is eternal. That will never end. It never had a beginning and it will never end. So that is what we should be spending our time, investing our time, investing our energy. Yes, other relationships that we have been given as a duty in this lifetime, we have to take care of it, no doubt. But the eternal relationship is what we should be working. And he is such a person, he will never leave us. Krishna will never leave us, no matter which relation. Yatheshta Vihari Krishna Kare Antardhan Kare Mane Kare Anuman. Lord Krishna enjoys his transcendental pastimes as long as he wishes, and then he disappears. After disappearing, however, he thinks thus. Chir kale nahi kare prema bhakti dham, bhakti vina jagatera nahi avasthan. For a long time I have not bestowed unalloyed loving service to me upon the inhabitants of the world. Without such loving attachment, the existence of the material world is useless. So he is thinking that I have not given this love for me to the inhabitants of this world, which I should have given. So he is thinking, well, I should give them. And the Lord seldom awards pure transcendental love, but without such pure love of God, freed from fruitive activities and empiric speculation, one cannot attain perfection in life. So without such pure love, one cannot attain perfection. Sakala jagate more kare vidhi bhakti vraja bhav paite nahi shakti. Everywhere in the world, people worship me according to scriptural injunctions. But simply by following such regulative principles, one cannot attain the loving sentiments, Vrajabhav of the devotees in Vrajabhav. That is the real goal of Krishna Bhaktas. See, there are two marks, Vidhi mark and Raganuga mark. Now, even in Raganuga mark that we are trying to follow, there is Vedi Bhakti and then there is Raganuga. Vedi Bhakti that we are struggling to perform. These are beginning stages. So slowly, keep on performing and we will develop Raganuga Bhakti for Krishna. And this is what Krishna thought. I have to give them this. I have to give people this thing. Aishwarya Jnanete Sav Jagat Mishvita. Aishwarya Shitil Preme Nahi Mora Prita. Knowing my opulences, the whole world looks upon me with love, with awe and veneration. But devotion made feeble by such reverence does not attract me. So now we are getting towards higher level of understanding. That's why Chaitanya Charitamrita is postgraduate study. We studied Srimad Bhagavatam, love for Krishna, love. Now we are getting what kind of love? With awe and reverence is one thing, that is Vaikuntha love. But he's talking, Mahaprabhu came to give us Golok Premana. So after his appearance, Lord Krishna thought that he had not distributed the transcendental personal dealings with his devotees in Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. One may understand the science of the Supreme Personality of God from the Vedic literatures and thus become a devotee of the Lord and worship him within the regulative principles described in the scriptures. But one will not know in this way how Krishna is served by the residents of Brajabhumi. So scriptures talk about worshipping Krishna, Krishna Bhakti Karo, Puja Karo, or not even Krishna, Vishnu Bhakti Karo. So what is the mood of the love of Brajabhaktas, Brajvasis? That cannot be understood by this way. One cannot understand the dealings of the Lord in Vrindavan simply by executing the ritualistic regulative principles mentioned in the scriptures. One cannot understand the dealings of the Lord in Vrindavan simply by executing the ritualistic regulative principles mentioned in the scriptures. So there's a Vidhi mark, following the Vidhis, rules and regulations. By following scriptural injunctions, one may enhance his appreciation for the glories of the Lord, but there is no chance for one to enter into personal dealings with him. Giving too much attention to understanding the exalted glories of the Lord reduces the chance of one's entering into the personal loving affairs with the Lord. To teach the principles of such loving dealings, the Lord decided to appear as Lord Chaitanya. For example, now in South India, they do wonderful deity worship and very, very learned scholars doing amazing and with full rules and regulations, the worship of Lakshmi Narayana. But that worship of Lakshmi Narayana is in awe and reverence mood by those devotees. which is great. Nothing is wrong with that. We're not saying anything wrong. But Mahaprabhu appeared not to give that mood. He appeared to give the mood of Rajvasis with Krishna, which nobody had given before. Anarpit Charim. The mood of devotees of Lakshmi Narayan or even Sitaram, that is in awe and reverence. That's in full of respect for Ram, which is Maryada Purushottam and he's a king and one should give him that respect, yes. But the mood of devotees of Krishna with Krishna is completely different. It is not of awe and reverence. In fact, in Vrindavan, nobody even treats him as God or as king. He's not even king in Vrindavan. He was king when he was in Mathura, not in Vrindavan. Or even in Mathura, actually, the king was Maharaj Ugrasena. But he is known as Dwarkadish or Mathuradish. He was like a king, but not in Vrindavan. His friends, Gopal, his Braj Sakhas, they jump on his shoulders when they're playing. And sometimes they say, you cheat too much, we are not going to let you play with us. But this is their love for Krishna. Nobody can say to Ram, say that to Ram. So there is that difference. Although we studied in the previous chapter, they're all Vishnu Tattvas, Vilas or Vilas forms, Parabhav, Vaibhav, that we'll get into detail later. All Vishnu Tattvas, all one candle lighting the other candles, every candle giving the same candle power, light, everything is true, no doubt. They're all Vishnu Tattvas. But now comes to the mood of every Vishnu Tattva with his associates. And the mood of Krishna is different than the mood of Lord Ram. So, Lord Ram is called Maryada Purushottam. Krishna is called Purna Purushottam. Now we go one step ahead. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called Prem Purushottam. He is one step ahead. Why? Because he had the mood of Radharani. The source of all the prema is Srimati Radha. The subject of that prema is Krishna, because that prema is only for Krishna. But the source is Radha. And not just the prema, the bliss coming out of that prema is Srimati, the personification of Srimati Radha. So that's why even he doesn't understand the mood of Srimati Radharani. So this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give. This is the external reason. The chapter is the external reason for that, not the internal reasons. So to teach the principles of such loving dealings, the Lord decided to appear as Lord Chaitanya. Aishwarya Jnane Vidhi Bhajana Kariya, Vaikuntha ke yaye Chatur Vidha Mukti Paya. By performing such regulated devotional service in awe and veneration, one may go to Vaikuntha and attain the four kinds of liberation. So what are the four liberation? Sarshti Sarupya Samipya Salokya Sayujyal Na Laya Bhakta Yate Brahma Ekya. These liberations are Sarshti. Sarshti means achieving opulences equal to those of the Lord. Sarupya, having a form the same as the Lord. Samipya, living as a personal associate of the Lord. And Salokya, living on a Vaikuntha planet. Devotees never accept Sayujya. However, since that is oneness with Brahma. So devotees, there are 5 kinds of mukti. So 4 they can accept because in 4 there is some devotional service. But devotees say, no, Sayujya we don't. So those engaged in devotional service according to the ritualistic principles mentioned in the scriptures attain these different kinds of liberation. But although such devotees can attain Sarshti, Sarupya, Samipya and Salokya, they are not concerned with these liberations. For such devotees are satisfied only in rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. The 5th kind of liberation, Sayujya, is never accepted even by devotees who perform only ritualistic worship. To attain Sayujya or merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the aspiration of the impersonalist. A devotee never cares for Sayujya liberation. So 4 liberations are okay as long as there is devotion service. Then sometimes they say we don't even want liberation. Devotees say we just want devotion service. That's all. Whether you keep us in hell, but keep us as your devotee. Yuga dharma pravartayam nama sankirtan chari bhava bhakti diya nachamu bhuvan. I shall personally inaugurate the religion of the age, Nam Sankirtan, the congregation chanting of the holy name. I shall make the world dance in ecstasy, realizing the 4 mellows of loving devotional service. So this is what Nam Sankirtan does. Some might say, how in the world is it possible? By chanting and dancing in the streets, chanting the glories, chanting just Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can get 4 mellows of loving devotion service. 4 mellows, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. And this is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One can get. Or one does get. One just can get. One gets. Apani karimu bhakti bhav angikare, apani achari bhakti sikhai musumare. I shall accept the role of a devotee and I shall teach devotional service by practicing it myself. So something that nobody has given before and something that Krishna wants to teach us, well, he has to take the role and teach us. Otherwise, who's going to teach us? So Prabhupada says, when one associates with a pure devotee, one becomes so elevated that he does not aspire even for Sarshti, Sarupya, Samipya or Salokya. Because he feels that such liberation is a kind of sense gratification. Kind of. That, okay, I'll go to Krishna Loka and I'll be liberated. No. Or in fact, not Krishna Loka, because Sarupya is only for Vaikuntha. Sarupya means same features. In Vaikuntha Loka, everybody has 4 hands. Everybody is 4-handed. Everybody wears pitambar. Everybody is same color as Lord Vishnu. But not in Golok Vrinda. Not even in Ayodhya. But not in Golok Vrinda. And Sarshti, not the same Aishwarya they will get in Golok Vrindavan. So these are mostly for Vaikuntha purpose. Pure devotees do not ask anything from the Lord for their personal benefit. Even if offered personal benefits, pure devotees do not accept them because their only desire is to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by transcendental loving service. So they don't want. We'll see that. When Mahaprabhu performed the Mahaprakash Lila, and he asked the devotee, okay, take something, take some benediction. If you want to give us something just to make you happy, although we don't want anything, devotees say, just give us association of devotees. That's it. Don't give us any happiness. No one but the Lord himself can teach this highest form of devotion service. Therefore, when the Lord took the place of the incarnation in Kali Yuga to spread the glories of chanting Hare Krishna, the system of worship recommended in this age, which is chanting, so he took it up. He also distributed the process of devotion service performed on the platform of transcendental, spontaneous love. So he also distributed the process of devotion service performed on the platform of transcendental, spontaneous love, which is Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous love. Now, to teach the highest principles of spiritual life, the Lord himself appeared as a devotee in the form of Lord Chaitanya. So, by performing congregation chanting, one can develop or one develops this transcendental, spontaneous love for Krishna. This is how one gets purified. आपने न कैले धर्म शिखन नयाय एता सिद्धांत गीता भागवते गाय. Unless one practices devotional service himself, he cannot teach it to others. This conclusion is indeed confirmed throughout the Gita and Bhagavad. So he cannot teach it to others. Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatmanam sujamya. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice of descendant of Bharat and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. And paritranaya sadhanam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. Utsi deyurime loka na kuryam karma cheda sankarasya na kartasyam upahanyam imahapraja. If I did not show the proper principles of religion, all these worlds would fall into ruin. I would be the cause of unwanted population and would spoil all these living beings. Yadyada charti sheshchas tatta tevetaro jana sayat pramanam kurte lokastad anvartate. Whatever actions a great man performs, common people follow. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So these are all shlokas from Bhagavad Gita. And this is why he came as Lord Chaitanya, to show how to do devotional service, how to get into congregation chanting of the holy names. Otherwise, how would people learn? Yuga dharma pravartan haya ansha haite amavena anyanare vrajapremati. My plenary portions can establish the principles of religion for each age. No one but me, however, can bestow the kind of loving service performed by the residents of Raja. So his plenary portions could have established a religion, but to bestow the loving service done by Brajvasis, Mahaprabhu Krishna had to appear as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Santva avatara bhava pankaj nabhasya sarvato bhuddhara Krishna danya kovala tashva api premado bhavati. There may be many all auspicious incarnations of the personality of Godhead, but who other than Lord Krishna can bestow love of God upon the surrendered souls? So this quotation from the writings of Bilmangal Thakur is found in Laghu Bhagavatam. Tahate apan bhakta gana kari sange prithvi te avati kari munana range. Therefore, in the company of my devotees, I shall appear on earth and perform various colorful pastimes. Etabhavi Kali Kale Prathame Sandhyaya Avatirna Haila Krishna Apanina Dhyaya. Thinking thus, the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna himself descended at Nadia early in the age of Kali. So Nadia means Navdvip or Varabhumi. The Pratham Sandhya is the beginning of the age. According to astronomical calculations, the age is divided into 12 parts. The first of these 12 divisions is known as Pratham Sandhya. The Pratham Sandhya and Shesh Sandhya, the last division of the preceding age, form the junction of the two ages. So Pratham Sandhya of Kali Yuga and Shesh Sandhya of Dwapara Yuga. So that was the junction of the two ages. According to the Surya Siddhanta, the Pratham Sandhya of Kali Yuga lasts 36,000 solar years. So 36,000 times 12, because there are 12 Sandhyas in a Manvantar, or not Manvantar, in a Yuga. So that is Kali Yuga. Lord Chaitanya appeared in the Pratham Sandhya after 4,586 solar years of Kali Yuga had passed. Such accurate calculation is there. Chaitanya Sihera Navadvipe Avatar Sima Griva Sima Virya Simera Hunkara. Thus a lion like Lord Chaitanya has appeared in Navadvip. He has the shoulders of a lion, the powers of a lion, and the loud voice of a lion. Say Sima Vasujivera Hirdaya Kandare Kalmashadvirada Nashe Yahara Hunkare. May that lion be seated in the core of the heart of every living. Thus, with this resounding roar, may he drive away one's elephantine vices. So, elephantine vices, when such huge vices are there, they can only go away by the roar of a lion. That's how strong the roar of a lion is. And Mahaprabhu is compared here with the lion. He has the shoulders of a lion, powers of a lion, and loud voice of a lion. Pratham Lilaya Tara Vishwambhara Naam Bhakti Rase Bharila Dharila Bhutagram. In his early pastimes, it's known as Vishwambhara because he floods the world with the nectar of devotion and thus saves the living beings. So I guess I can stop here. Just now, many just pastime, just in sutras is given, just touched upon, and details will come later. So we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions? Okay, so you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji.